So we're finally gonna see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I don't think he's lying, no, he just seems like a scared baby. But I mean, to be honest, you know, I say that. If I was in Armstrong's position, I wouldn't exactly be brave about it either. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe. What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Topknot. It's not a topknot. Never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright? No, I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I get kind of wound up. Ugh. No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you've got an hour. An hour? The trial will have been reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprints analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? What had unidentified prints? Maggie's fingerprints. Unidentified fingerprints. If you're gonna go back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solve the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre?
I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites.
Very well, please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness, please state your name.
Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there's room for me down there too.
What you say to me? Nothing, I didn't say nothing, honest.
You could have guessed that the fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge.
I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Sparky?
No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor?
Oh dear, I've seen to drop my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal.
That's it, we're doomed.
Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here?
There's no need to shout. We can all hear you.
What'd you say?
There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in.
Too cool, I know. Isn't he incredible, Phoenix?
Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct?
Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy.
I feel like my accent changes every time he speaks. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird?
Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder.
Phoenix Wright. You's the one who set this up, didn't ya? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying?
Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. From under the table.
I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Tenderlender every single day. You want to check my alibi, just ask Violetta.
I'm slowly trending further and further towards just doing a Cockney accent. I might as well just commit. I know it's Brooklyn, but I don't know, man. Tigray is one of those ones where you have to go whole hog on it, but I can't be that loud.
At last I found my pen. Well then, Mr. Wright, your cross-exam. What is it, please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting at me like that?
I know the kind of games that guy in blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins.
Lowlife? Me?
Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to the case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you's gonna borrow the cash from me.
That's one loan contract I refuse to sign.
And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger.
I love a good spectator sport.
Just a minute, that's really not.
This witness is, how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off, yours too.
Very well, I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here.
You's better be listening, or said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus.
The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. I hate when there's a penalty on pressing, dude. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? I get there's only so many ways to increase the difficulty with something like this, but I just hate it. So, I'm going to save right now. Let's see. So, December last year hardly seems too relevant, unless do we know when he had that bill? Not that. The bill for the crash. Payment was due last year. That's it. I thought we had something else. No, we threw it away. We threw it away, didn't we? Because we also had his repair bill. But we threw that away after we got the information out of Violetta. Just ask Violetta. It's like either this one or this one. This is like alluding to a specific thing, so I think we'll go with this. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know.
You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is.
Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini?
She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was.
Well, that seems like a rather sketchy schedule.
There he goes again. What did the tiger do all December? What the tiger did last December, all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Well... yeah... But no, what month is it now? Did the murder happen in December? Because it happened a long time ago, right? Like, this is being relitigated. Let's leave it for now. Yeah. Let's press on Violetta instead. By Violetta, you're talking about the Cadaverini families?
Yeah. You don't want to cross them or you's gonna wind up sleeping with the fishes. Once the Godfather finds out you've been dragging Violetta through the mud, he'll do you in.
Sorry, I couldn't quite put all the words together towards the end there. He said that he's just like He said that just like Viola, didn't he? I get the feeling this might not be the right time to probe him about her. Alright, we'll leave it. If even Phoenix isn't sure about it. Alright, let's see if maybe we can connect him to Armstrong through this. So I take it you get a lot of customers at your black market loan office.
It's tough for the little guys these days. Small businesses are feeling the pinch. Bosses of companies like that want to get in good with me. I'm their best friend.
I see. That's very admirable of you, witness.
Yeah, well, Tenderlendo's motto is win through compromise, you know.
Win through compromise? What's that supposed to mean?
Compromise the customer to win. That's what it means. You's got it.
With best friends like you, who needs enemies?
Yeah, let me spell it out for yous all. You don't pay me back within 3 days, Sparky. I'll take what's due and your stupid air. Yous follow what I'm saying?
But I'm not one of your customers. Should I ask more about Tenderlender? Yes. Mr. Tigray,
what yous want?
If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
This is a dead end, Wright. You know it. Remember the rules.
Pressing the witness without evidence to back up your attack is prohibited.
Well, you know, alright, fuck me. Alright. Let's see what he says, because we do actually get to go to a prompt before we get penalized. I don't buy that you haven't even heard of the incident that occurred at Tribulations.
You's got a big mouth, right? You's trying to say I was in some mob hit. Is that what you're trying to say? Where's your proof, then?
Evidence, yes, well.
For an attorney to make an accusation in court, he must have evidence. That's from loan shark to lawyer, a beginner's guide, yeah?
Ah, I see you're the very studious type, Mr. Tigray. Very good.
Huh. Why don't you ask him to represent you sometime, Trite?
What should I do? This doesn't feel like it's going to work. Maybe he'll slip up and say something that would give away that he knows about the murder. Let's press more on what he was doing in December. Maybe he'll let slip there that he entered a contract with Armstrong, and we can work off of that. Because first, we obviously need to establish that he is definitely connected to Armstrong in some way.
Mr. Tigray, what do you want?
Okay, I guess that was not it. Oh wait, what? No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately.
I agree.
The victim was killed on December 3rd. Okay. It's so hard to keep dates in my head, dude, okay? Where were you in the office that day, too?
Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before.
I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please.
Mr. Tigray, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony.
Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself.
I was in the office. I never saw that kid before.
Do we have something that puts him out of the office on December 3rd? Ah, wait, that's on the calendar, isn't it? Yes. Got him. Mr. Tigray, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, but it appears Mr. Elg knew you.
What?
Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the Tiger, and the date, December 3rd. Of course, I completely forgot about this. Remember to stay hydrated. In my defense, I haven't played in like 3 days, so I'm really having trouble keeping keeping everything in my head.
December 3rd? That's the day of the murder.
So, Mr. Tigray, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him.
Not bad. He's actually not bad.
Sorry.
I was just messing with yous to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember that you are under oath. Lies will not be tolerated.
You's calling me a liar? Is that what you doing?
Ruh-oh.
So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
I said I'm dead serious. You's better believe that's the truth.
Huh. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigray.
Oh, yes, would you mind indulging the court witness?
You never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy.
I ain't no liar. I never met Mr. Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanting to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tender Lender. I waited around for him, but he never showed. I ain't never even been to that Tribulations joint, you's here.
I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You'd arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up.
I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm
gonna sneeze.
Didn't I tell you I've got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, Wright.
So, do we have something right now that already puts him at Tribulations? Ah, the matches. We found those at Tender Lender. Too easy. Too fucking easy, brother. Mr. Tigray, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What you's talking about?
We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant.
What?
If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You's been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me.
Order, order. Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Oh, sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me.
I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day.
What?
But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid.
Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony.
I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenn Elg that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't on already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cops' sirens on my way. I went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions.
Ha! No problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Godo, that's my job.
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it.
Yes, sir.
The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so yous know, since yous gonna be paying.
Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? No, never has. Alright, this one seems hard. Let's save again. So, it seems like the easiest way to connect Tigray to Elg is to somehow get to talking about MC Bomber. Is there another way? Or maybe if we could get him to say the wrong time somehow. Because now we've established that they performed a fake death so that there was a witness. So if we could get him to say the time of the real death, that would also be a way to get him in there. But that would also be kind of a bit much of a slam dunk for right now. Like, that seems like it might be later. Getting him to talk about something on the table might help. Because several things were not on the table because he took them. Right? Like, this is all he should have seen on the table if he was telling the truth. But he might let something else slip. You mean you saw Glenn Elg's dead body?
I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some raggy bit of cloth he called a hat.
And what time was this?
I dunno.
Huh?
You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches.
Round watches. I'm wearing a round watch right now.
I ain't gonna pollute my paws with some ticking hint pen picker.
Out of interest, Mr. Tigray, what winds you up the second most?
Huh? What do you think? Square watches.
Fair enough, brother. Is this guy for real?
Look, all I needed to know was that something bad was going down in that place.
Okay. Straight back to his office might work. I want him to say something on the table, so maybe he'll elaborate on the scene from this one. An ugly scene? What do you mean? The witness has already told us, Trite, which makes that question irrelevant. But I limit myself to 17 cups of coffee during a trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you take a penalty, Trite, or your guts will look like the inside of a chimney. Ashen.
Don't make me burn you again, Mr. Wright.
Alright, fuck me. This is probably not going to work, because he's just going to say about a loan. And he's kind of already told us that. This doesn't seem worth pressing on it because, yeah, you know, this is pretty obviously a true statement. So I think we go for the back to my office straight away thing. You went straight back. Did a bout of guilt suddenly hit you for what you did? This is what you're going to say? That's what you're going to say? What a terrible idea given the circumstances. This is not at all what you should have said.
What you's trying to say? You trying to tell me you's never been guilty of nothing?
We all have our crosses to bear. We all have to swallow the dark secrets we hide. Like this.
The courtroom's not exactly the place to talk about dark secrets, is it? Seems you've done it again. In my defense, how could I have predicted that's what he was going to say? Alright, this then. So the meeting wasn't due to take place at Tenderlender at all then?
The kid was making a fuss about coming into the office. It's always that way when I talk about when I want to talk about repayments. Even though I've got the best punching bag you've ever seen if there's any issues.
Maybe it's because of the punching bag that people are scared to come. So that's why you decided to meet at Tribulations.
Huh. You're going over old ground again, Wright.
Sorry. I didn't think that one was going to work, but like this seemed like the least obvious one to me. So you didn't actually set foot inside the restaurant then?
The tiger's a busy cat. I don't hang around for no one. I ain't got time to be caught up in no murder investigation.
So when exactly did you pick up the matches?
There are matches just inside the front door. Our detective friend wound up in trouble with the chef after taking 5 books home.
Poor Gumshoe. It's enough to make a man cry. Fuck. So something in here is already contradicting the evidence, huh? Well, it's a shame he didn't add that part about not setting foot inside the restaurant, because he wouldn't actually have been able to see the body in that case. Because there would be this partition in the way. But that part didn't actually get added to the testimony. Fuck. What is it then? Oh. Maybe here? Because when he opened the door, he shouldn't have been able to see the scene. Is this a little weak? This feels a little weak, but I'm not sure how else to approach this. I can't think of anything else. I'm going to try the floor plans.
I'm right, let's go!
That felt a little weak, but, you know. If it works, it works. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigray?
No one escapes the tiger's clutches.
Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. My man must have felt so fucking cool, but that's such a weak line. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight.
What's this, Wright? A new line of irrelevant questioning?
These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigray. From there, your field of vision would have been covered in an area something like this.
Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat.
Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that's not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition.
Oh, why, that's true.
Now look at the floor plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him.
Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elk, but a fake.
What?
In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed the victim just so he could be the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade.
That will do. This trial's gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elk, and then impersonated the victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court.
Why, it's none other than Tigray. 42? Damn, he's older than I thought. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigray. No one else could have done it.
What? Well, witness?
Gah. Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is the king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you've got the guts.
You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigray. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright!
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You's got guts, I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, don't leave me to handle this alone.
Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment.
Mr. Godo.
Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't just see the victim. Oh, no.
That servant girl brought him a jar of Chino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Was the victim that he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee.
Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned.
Very impressive, Mr. Godo. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. You guys, what are you guys doing? Things are getting out of control right now.
Huh. Found your pen at last, Trite?
It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elg, and the waitress from behind.
Yes, your point, Mr. Wright?
I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well?
You're damn right. Literally no one was who they seemed to be, Your Honor. You might not even be the judge right now. Have you considered I could be the judge? Tigray taught me that one. The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
Who on earth was it? Who was the waitress Mr. Kudo witnessed?
Why, it was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Who is this woman?
Her name's Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender.
You's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violeta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real, once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime is you.
Witness? What have you got to say?
That's cute.
Sorry?
You's alright. I could do with a guy like you round.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give yous one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about.
You's got it all wrapped up nice, huh, right? But you's missed one real important thing.
But that can't be.
I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you hear?
What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre?
Huh. What a troublemaker. Troublemaker. Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more hot, steaming cup of testimony.
Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I'll give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim?
Yeah, I loaned El cash, about $100,000. That day we were due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, you see. So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over.
And now I see that the principal amount you loaned Mr. Elk was $50,000.
Yeah, well, he's got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal.
And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question.
Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case.
His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? He did it to get MC Bomber, because Furio needed a fucking lot of money. And MC Bomber's worth a lot of money. So... this seems like the one to press on, because now he's saying... this statement's basically saying that he was there when Maggie killed Glenn, correct? The problem is, Armstrong and Kudo both testified they didn't see him there, right? Like, we have multiple testimonies saying no other man was at the table when Elk died, but Tigre is now contradicting that with this statement. The waitress, you mean... whoops.
The girl with the glasses and defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little on this. Yes, ask about what Maggie did. What exactly are you implying the defendant did?
How about you ask that go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket. She wanted it so bad, she poisoned Elk's coffee.
A likely theory. You know, I just realized the whole premise is that Bird killed Glenn so that she could get his ticket. But that has to have been literally a spur-of-the-moment thing. Who has potassium cyanide on their person just in case? The way that she would have killed him doesn't make any sense for a, crime that you decided to do in the moment because you found out somebody near you had just won the lottery, right? The murder weapon is incomprehensible for such a crime. But, you know, that's not a point we're ever going to make. Likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre.
Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, Wright.
The law doesn't exactly agree with some of the deals I'll send down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split.
I see.
Your Honor. The witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee.
I concur, Mr. Godot. You'll amend your testimony accordingly.
So that's what you's after, Phoenix, right?
My business with that kid was over. Do you think I press on that again? Because the thing is, right now I'm trying to work towards tying him to MC Bomber. So do I present MC Bomber right here? Or do I present Viola's medical papers here? This isn't exactly his business to do with the kid, though, is it? This seems like the sort of thing you'd establish after already presenting MC Bomber. Maybe this? It seems like there's a lot of ways to try and connect this. Do I just press on this statement again? The thing is that when you sort of do a statement like this, it's very rarely the case. I can't think of another case, in fact, where you, like, then press on the follow-up statement. Maybe we'll try the other way on that. This doesn't feel like enough. What would he say for the other option? Oh wait, I didn't actually get to ask that? Oh no, wait. The statement has fully changed, actually. Trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only gonna do damage to our case. What do you mean how things would have been over and done with?
Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before the waitress got in the way.
As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Well, Mr. Wright, you have it.
Have it amended? I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended.
Very well. Respective recent statements, please.
I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. This seems like it might work slightly better. Yes. Because he would have another reason to kill the guy, which is to get MC Bomber. And I know that's the case because that's why he killed him. So I think we present MC Bomber to this version of the testimony.
Yes, I'm so smart.
So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct?
I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after. What are you getting at, Trite? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch.
What is this?
A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber.
A computer virus? What does one of those do?
A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the inside of a computer.
A computer? What does one of those do?
I guess the beard isn't the only part of His Honor that's from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market.
Several $1 million?
Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elk had no other way to repay the money is crucial.
What?
Glen Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection!
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense. What are you talking about? My man looks fly as fuck. But he is by no means an idiot, Trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear.
It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million?
Here's where we present Viola. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? Somehow your moped did more damage than the car, but let's not dwell on that fact right now. An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured, somehow. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery that she needed for some reason.
How much of this do you know?
The medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full.
$1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue those HMOs.
Huh. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. How cute. How cute that you think that's the case. To think that brain surgery would not cost a ridiculous amount of money. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it.
Order. Well, you say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright.
Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, you decided to sacrifice Glen Elk's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. It's also weird that means Tigre was just carrying cyanide around on him, but at least it makes more sense for somebody like him to be doing so.
That's crazy.
He murdered Glen Elg and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one who we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef would have been kept in the dark about it.
But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godo? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
Order, silence, or I'll clear the court.
He's put on a good show, Sparky. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, yous gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid created a witness and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
I agree.
You do?
Despite your appearance, you're very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to ensure Miss Bird had no way out.
What? Another one, Mr. Wright.
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused?
Well, there's like several things you could say to this, though, couldn't you? Because you could say planting the cyanide on Maggie. You could say planting the lottery ticket on Maggie. You could present Viola and say, creating the witness. But it's probably the lottery ticket or the cyanide. Either way, they were both planted on Maggie. Both are kind of making the same point. So I'll say the lottery ticket. I hesitate because, like... Oh, no, you could say one other thing, couldn't you, actually? Because you could also say posing as Phoenix, couldn't you? Like, yes, he could leave a long trail, but if the lawyer was trash, it wouldn't matter. This is also the only trick we have yet to bring up.
What on earth is that?
Oh my, I'm so smart.
What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation.
My friend, I have some bad news. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day of the question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. You posed as me to me, in fact, just 2 days ago.
What? That's
the truth.
But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable shabby defense I had ever seen.
The fucking dramatic music started playing for the judge's statement. What a day.
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take to the stand and testify that it was him?
Gulp?
Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
Have you no pride, sir?
This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court we deal with people's lives.
Mr. Godo is right.
Your Honor.
Speaking for myself, I'm absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as a judge with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it.
No!
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenelg. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Yeah.
Sucks to be you, Wright. Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get mauled. You's got that.
All he managed to do was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Huh. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook.
This witness's cross-examination is over. You're free to go, Mr. Tigre.
Fucking insane that you would say that, to be honest, but... Your Honor, sir. Wait!
Detective Gumshoe.
Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this, too.
What is it, Detective?
Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence.
What?
Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigre's paw prints, alright. That's great, we've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but... it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence the tiger put the poison in Glenelg's coffee. He's already admitted he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Well, that's just not true. You've saved us multiple times. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working up some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something? For me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. How can we use this evidence? Well, what we established was that this must have fallen out of the victim's pocket in the back room of Tribulations, right? So that would seem to imply that Tigre was in the kitchen with Glenn at the time, wouldn't it? Which would mean that's after Glenn has already been poisoned. Yes, Your Honor?
I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered.
Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we?
Think, Phoenix, thinks. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But yous lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion.
No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you'll talk us through it, Mr. Wright.
Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit.
Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present the final, decisive piece of evidence to the court.
Am I supposed to present wrong evidence now? Because Phoenix is talking about, like, making a mistake, right? But, or like making him think we've made a mistake so that he slips up. It's gotta be the bottle, though. What else could you possibly present, like, in this situation? This is the defense's final piece of evidence.
Isn't that the victim's?
Your Honor. Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We've clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigray.
What?
But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information?
Everyone in the court knows what this bottle contains. Except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. We're gonna get him to think this is the potassium cyanide bottle?
My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell is in it anyway?
A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigray, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains potassium cyanide. The bottle contains potassium cyanide.
Potassium cyanide?
The poison used to murder Glenn Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigray, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
Yeah, you make a good clown, you know that.
What?
Yous ain't never gonna get back. Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. Yous just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger?
A bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it.
No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in.
Don't mess with the tiger.
Crazy how Godo hasn't objected yet.
Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown and it was made of glass.
Let's go.
That cheap piece of trash. Don't look nothing like that. Let's fucking go.
Got him. At last.
What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle.
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle with the cyanide in it. Yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go.
You still haven't figured it out.
Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. But if you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in.
Yeah.
But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom.
You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
You don't know who you's messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You just think I'm gonna let some jumped-up suit get the better of me?
Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Oh, fuck.
What's going on?
It looks like a blackout. Oh, fuck. Well done, Trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey.
Let's fucking go!
Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe. But if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Godo?
He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor.
Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney.
Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the Tiger made one mistake.
Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is truly a frightening criminal.
Huh. The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godo.
Well, I'm now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird.
Not guilty. We did it. We saved the city.
That's all. Court is adjourned.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the Tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony, then? You guys are unreasonable. Oh my god. Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. Were you not fucking watching? Were you paying no attention? But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. This is unreasonable. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie, you know Detective Gumshoe's really been worried about you all through this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. Yes, you're all being unreasonable with this, you know? He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I gotta prove to her Gumshoe really cares. I know, I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. How does some cold weenies sound? Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know. The fuck was that? Does your stomach have a door hinge? What the fuck? Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this? If I eat this now? So how is it, Maggie? It's really good. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Wow, how touching. Man, they were all being so fucking unreasonable to Gumshoe, dude. He didn't deserve that. Let's go. Time for a sad case. Let's do it.